fan score, 202.
Better hear what I've got to say because you won't get it again.
I'm not an alpha male. I'm not a beta male either. I'm just a better man. Well, put your happiness first, because if you don't, they won't. Yo, GYBB, get your balls back. WWDD, what would Dante do? Sexual Revolutions being podcasted, and I am excited. Good to be back.
Yay.
Big shouts to Harry. What's going on, Harry, in the building? Everybody look at Harry.
Yay, everybody. Hey, I'm happy to be back. I'm happy you're back in the States.
Yeah, I had a good time in England. Also, the man behind the ones and twos, Domino, in the building.
What's up, everybody? What's up?
Making it happen. Back in the studio.
Nice.
I actually did a live Sunday, though, and I had a... it was interesting.
What happened? What is this? I wasn't aware of this.
So...
A lot goes on.
Guy called up.
Okay.
And basically said that his... I think I did a consultation with him before. And keep in mind, consultations, DanteNero.com. Click on consult. Also, big shout to Michael McMahon. Sent me $10 in the building already before we was even live. So thank you, Mike. Appreciate it. That's what I'm doing. Send me some money, goddammit. Cash App is up on the thing. The number is up. Put the number up, 513-202. Nero, Nero. So a guy called up and he had a problem. He was asking my advice, and apparently they have a Dachshund dog.
A dog, okay.
And the dog is in the bed, and the dog started bugging out and getting anal leakage.
Okay.
In the bed.
All right.
So his girl was like, "Yo, I don't want the dog in the bed no more."
Okay. Seems all right.
Seems reasonable.
Seems reasonable
right?
enough. Okay.
He was like, "Yo, it don't happen all the time. When it does happen, we wash the sheets and we move on."
Obviously, you both don't move on. You might have moved on.
That's what I said.
You can't just be like, I moved on.
And
OJ can't be like, hey, I moved on from all that.
But you know, we got this dog as a prerequisite to having children. And now, so now something goes wrong with the dog, and we're going to just abandon the dog?
I don't know if anyone said abandon.
Well, so what happened was he didn't say abandon, but he didn't want she don't want the dog in the bed. He doesn't want to change the agreement.
Oh, the agreement. Yeah.
And he's like, is this look, your dog is not your fucking baby.
Right.
I don't know. He goes, yeah, but it's a...
And even if it was your baby, if the baby had anal leakage, you keep it in the crib, separate from you.
I mean, actually, it all depends on how sick the baby is, but I don't want to get off the... I don't want to get off the
temporarily, but this seems like
this is why you don't have kids.
This is, yeah, exactly.
Okay, it's just you like,
kick this baby out of here. Get this anal leakage baby out of here.
Baby out of here. What do you think this is?
This ain't nothing like the movie Parenthood. They don't
Not
mention
at all.
anal leakage, none of this.
This is not like Boss Baby, right?
Yeah.
So, but I'm talking to the dude, and then in my mind, I'm like, the bottom line with this is, what's more important? I said, I don't think it's unreasonable for her not to
want a dog anally leaking all over the bed while she's trying to sleep.
I would refer to it as shitting in the bed.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, why are we calling it everything but?
Well, this is what he said.
Hey, man, it's not. The dog ain't shitting in the bed. It's just anal leakage.
I said shitting in the bed, and he corrected me.
He said it's anal leakage. Yeah, but what's it leaking? It's shit. It ain't like it's leaking, Jolly Ranchers.
It ain't leaking strawberry fucking milkshake. So
Red Bull, that's a different story.
Red Bull, I would leave it there. Right? I was bathing it. But my thing is, I couldn't believe
that he couldn't see it. He's calling you, man. Am I crazy for this?
Yeah. I go, is it unreasonable for your lady not to want to be in a bed with a dog that's shitting?
Okay.
He goes out, anal leakage.
Anal leakage, please.
And it
the
doesn't
politically correct term.
And then he goes, it doesn't matter all the time. It doesn't happen all the time. I go, one time is enough.
Yeah.
First of all, you know I'm black.
Okay.
Get that dog out of my fucking bed.
In the first place.
Oh, yeah.
Now, was this guy black?
Yeah.
He was black? Oh, so he's defying all sorts of rules here.
And he loves, I guess he just loves this dog, man.
Listen, I love my dog too, but if it had anal leakage, I'm not letting it stay on the bed.
If your girl goes, and he didn't mind, but the point was his girl was like, I can't rock it with this.
Okay.
And then he goes, and then, it flew out of proportion because, I couldn't believe that she got so angry and things was dangerous. It could almost put me at risk with the police the way. I said, yeah, because you've made it clear that that you don't give a fuck about her and the dog is more important.
Okay. And if that's the case, that's fine. If that's how you feel about it, but let her know that the dog
she knows.
more...
That's why she's bitching. That's why she's... I go, at what situation does this make her feel comfortable? When you're ready to have the dog sitting in the bed and he's not here to fucking correct me, so...
Oh, wow. And so, all right, so at the end of this consultation, what happened here?
He just agreed to disagree.
Well, you have your feelings about it. I have mine. So, excuse me, I'm going to go take a nap with my dog. Wow. So there just was no reaching him. So sometimes people, this happens. People call you up hoping that it's not so much a consultation, if they're hoping that you'll validate their feelings about something, and they don't take it well when you go, absolutely not.
No.
Basically, he was hoping, like, tell me how crazy my girl is and how to get rid of it.
Won't let the dog sit in the bed.
This selfish
is she
whore.
A monster?
Kind of. You got to ditch this bitch right away. Drop that dead weight.
I was like, dog, the dog's sitting in the bed.
And I love dogs. I'm an animal lover. I love dogs. But if your dog is shitting in the bed, you can't.
Look, I don't want the cat on the counters.
No, I don't
want
that
the dog
either,
in the bed. I don't. Dog, would you just walk around in the street barefoot and then just get in your fucking bed?
No. I wouldn't walk into my street barefoot and do anything.
Exactly. But if you
you
wouldn't just come outside and get in the fucking bed, right?
Right, yeah, of course not.
And you got a flat foot. You don't have paws and crevices and stuff. So your dog is walking out in the street.
Right. Tap dancing and shit.
Just singing in the rain.
Doing a soft shoe in the middle of all homeless piss.
And then you're like, come here, boy, come here. Get the fuck out my bed.
Yeah. That's a little rough. I understand why some people love their little dog in the bed. I prefer not to have it in the bed. Sometimes you want to cuddle with the dog. I don't mind the dog jumping on the couch with you, but the bed I don't do. But
I was like, you know what? He goes, you don't know how I clean his paws. I clean his ass. Like I was like, this dude really loves this fucking dog.
I mean, does the dog wear a diaper? They have the dog diapers. Did he do that? I guess we didn't get into it because he was very adamant that diapers are for shitting. This dog has anal leakage. You don't understand.
I don't. This is what I'm saying. All we needed was he needed a tampon.
Oh boy.
Plug it up, but
oh wow, okay.
Couldn't believe it. Half-hour call. You know what? Let's edit it down.
We'll edit it. Yeah, that's one that we're gonna.
Oh my god!
We're gonna
and the
play,
literally, he back and forth.
Oh wow! And just refusing to acknowledge any leakage. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's been a while since we've seen Domino. Any updates from you, bud? Anything going on?
Nothing really. Boring old life over here.
Okay. No chicks, no nothing. Okay, that's all right. Listen, if you're happy with that.
He's not happy
with
that.
Not really any chicks.
Oh, jeez. I'll tell you who's got himself a chick. I don't know if you saw this today. Bill Belichick.
Oh,
he
yeah,
and his
yeah,
lady
yeah,
are
yeah.
engaged now. His 24-year-old girlfriend.
Yeah, but you know they're bugging now because she's got all kinds of weird shit where she's got him on. She's like the power of attorney, and she's
she's
involved in his business.
She's stopping interviews halfway through. And here's the thing we talked about with Bill Belichick, right? Or just in general, right? Because you deal with this a lot on the show, where there are dudes who are super successful, like at the pinnacle of their career in their field.
Most.
And yet they cannot manage a relationship because they don't treat it in the same capacity that they treat their business. Who's more successful as a coach than Bill Belichick?
You know, he got a little young thing. He don't care. He's ready to give all the money. He ready to pay for all the booty. Whatever he gives her, she's got part of the business. I heard the family is losing their mind. They're like,
Well, his kid's got to be worried about the inheritance. That's for sure.
but he's gonna do what he want to do. Trust me.
Yeah, but I don't understand why he wants to do that. Though. That's the crazy
Of
part
course
to me.
you do. He's never had that little young cutie, and then he's older, so he's like, I'll never have it.
Yeah, but he doesn't. You don't know what you don't know, I guess. But like, he could have that anytime he wants.
Well, little youngin like
Sure,
that.
he's a millionaire. Listen, if P. Diddy could fill up a thing of baby oil and hire as many,
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, he's got
I mean,
enough
he ain't
money.
got Diddy money, but
He ain't got Diddy money. I'm not saying he's got to do. Well, Diddy was doing parties every night. That
You could
baby
do like Bill-
pool was always filled with oil.
Yeah. Oh, really?
I think so. I would assume.
You could Bill Maher. You could do like Bill Maher and just pay for hookers.
There you go.
And lie to yourself that you're not a clayface idiot.
Oh, boy.
So
What?
that's
Bill?
what it is.
Yeah.
I get it, but I mean, especially basketball players. People go, he plays basketball. He's an athlete. Blah 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 blah. But the problem is, you spend so much time working on your craft. The problem is, you spend so much time working on your craft that you don't understand social dynamics.
Yeah, I guess you've never had to experience it.
You always had some girl because you were head of the basketball team or whatever.
Yeah. Let me see. What was that? How long was Bill Belichick married before this? I'd have to look that up.
Forever.
But I mean, it's just wild that she's taken over every part. She's on
And
the.
he don't mind.
She's on the field, on the staff. He's telling her to CC her on emails, telling the university.
And he's like, I'm old. I mean, this is something I get to do that I.
Man, she just licked the crack and he just tapped out.
He tossed that old man salad and it was over.
God damn. And she was the first one out the gate. So it's not even like, I guess that's what happens. The first one out the gate.
The first one to lick his booty hole, it was like,
Yeah, spouse Debbie. Oh, boy.
what's she look like?
I haven't even seen the picture, but from 1977 to 2006. Oh, wait a minute. It was 2006. What's going on here? He hadn't done anything from 2006 until
See?
now?
And then little youngin came up there and boop.
Let me tell you what happened. Because let's remember this. We didn't see any of this from Bill Belichick, right?
Yeah,
Bill Belichick was the coach for the New England Patriots until 2 years ago.
right.
So even when he got divorced, he didn't go out with anyone. The second he didn't have football, like
Nah.
the second he didn't have
It was
a
wide
practice
open.
to go to in August, no playbooks, and he was just sitting there, all of a sudden he goes,
Right. And some girl tossed his salad. Some
And
little
that was
youngin,
it.
And it was a wrap.
that was it. That's
But he
literally
probably
the time frame that
77,
happened.
77, and so he probably never had it.
No, he was always
going on.
focused on football for the whole life.
And that's the thing. This thing is relationships is a skill. Somebody can teach you how to respond and how to think. It's not. I mean, it's easy, but it's not. It's not. It's difficult, but not easy. I should say. Phone lines up 513-202-NERO. Call in. Tell me. Talk to me. There's always a situation where I'm working on my own personal growth.
Sure.
And I'm having.
But I appreciate you even be here. Consider all the surgery
I
you
had
just
all
went
kind of
through.
oral surgery. I'm
Yeah,
talking funny. And
yeah. You should explain to them that you had oral surgery,
yeah,
so they don't think you just developed a lisp while you were in England.
I had a oral surgery
And still a little swollen, man. So
yeah.
you toughen it out to be here. I respect
yeah,
it.
man, it is what it is. But I had such a good time talking to the fans and everything. Sunday, I was like, I definitely got.
You missed this. Let's be honest. You missed it.
Yeah, 513-202-NERO. What's the chat saying?
No super chats yet, but
No super chat.
this happened a little bit ago. I just wasn't on the top of my mind. I got an update with Crazy Tits.
Oh,
yeah.
wow. Okay.
What was
So
going
the
on?
whole thing, she was like, I'm not ready for a relationship, blah, blah,
Right.
blah. Like a few weeks ago, she starts posting with a new boyfriend on Instagram. So
Okay.
She
All right.
definitely seemed to be ready for a boyfriend.
Well,
All
she
of a
has
sudden.
one.
Yeah.
But not you.
You gotta
Right.
understand when you have the ability to operate on your emotional state at the time.
Which
it's
women
hard,
get to.
It's hard to be a woman of your word, because when she was like, I'm not interested in a relationship, she absolutely believed that, or she believed that when it came to you. and this is what I say. Anytime you go with a hard, fast rule with any, well, this is what I do. Yeah, you do that until you don't do that. You do that with you don't do that with nobody but the dude that you do it with.
Right.
You know
All
what I
of
mean?
a sudden, yeah. There's rules for everything. I don't fuck on the first date, but if Idris Elba shows up, guess what?
Let's change the rule. We
Right.
got to roll it back. I mean, it's just, and because we don't ever say there's a woman of her word. We don't ever even expect that. There's no pressure to, like, if I say this is my state, I believe in this, I'm going to remember that and then stick to that. And even if I'm kind of might be changing, I'm like, like, you being a man of not of your word
Men are generally consistent, whether good or bad.
Yeah.
I think men are generally consistent. Like somebody stupid is stupidly consistent. They're consistently stupid. But with women, you're dealing with even the smartest women in the world, the most put together women. Emotionally,
if it changes, and I think we don't, we also don't keep it. We don't hold them accountable. So when they say something, we don't go, hey, you said this, blah, 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 whatever. You know what I mean? Like, we don't say.
Because what happens is you try to argue logically, right? But fighting, it's a different style. It's like, being a judo player, but fighting somebody who's got a gun. In the emotional argument, you try to come at them with logic, and then they just continually hit you with emotion and start bringing up stuff that has nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
And guys get worn down and exhausted because it's exhausting to deal with, because in that moment, that's a crazy person you're dealing with. They're not being coherent or logical.
Well, and I mean, everybody has that moment. I see this a lot. Like, I watch a lot of atheist debates or, those atheist channels. And it's...
Which side are you on?
So they're all the crazy Christians. They call in and they go, and the guy goes, so what's your proof for God? What's your best proof for God? And then they go back and forth. But because a lot of times you'll find people will, and this guy, the guy that I watch, his channel is called Deconstruction. Check it out. He speaks Greek and Hebrew, and he has a master's degree in theology.
Okay.
Right? So he knows the Bible, quotes the Bible back and forth, blah, blah. But he's an atheist. And
wait, this guy studied the Bible just so he could...
No, he was a
religious guy?
He was a Christian, and then
one day he's like, oh, I've wasted my life.
Well, he actually had an engineering degree. He's an engineer, too, so...
Oh, okay. So he didn't, it wasn't a majoring in Bible,
I mean, he was
a
Christian. Like, he was all in.
Oh, shit.
But... he kind of just, as he was studying, he was learning more, and all the contradictions and stuff. And,
Sure.
And the people call in, and they will read he'll say the Bible says this, and they will read it out he will read it
the
to
scripture,
them,
sure.
and they'll go, oh, that's not what it means.
That's not what it means. Right.
They will go, that is not what, it does not mean that.
So now that type of argument, that gets exhausting after a while, because what do you do? That's where it becomes exhausting.
No, that's when you stop.
That's what you have to shut it down.
Yeah, I mean, because you gotta figure like this real quick. 513-202-NERO. What you gotta understand is that's not gonna change. Like that is so unreasonably. So that's what I mean when I say you gotta make ultimate decisions, never give ultimatums.
I know that when I'm going through that in any relationship where you hit that argument, after the third loop, I go, we're done talking about this.
Why
are we? I get you, but I want to hear. I want to hear them out and explain it. After the third thing I've explained and the logic is not there, I go, we're done. Maybe you didn't understand the first time, so let me explain. Maybe you didn't understand.
Well,
I'm done.
If the first part is you explain it, and then I'm saying, so I just go, so you're saying, so what you're saying is, boom, I reiterate it, and when they nod their head, yeah, we're not doing it.
We're not doing this.
We're not doing it. And I had to learn that myself because because I have friends, I have a lot of friends that I'm outgrowing, that I just intellectually, I just can't deal with their fucking stupidity. And it's not the fact that it's...
Oh, thank God I'm still here. Shit. All right, I made the cut. Dom, we're good, man. Dom, we're still here, bro.
It's not that It's not that I have a problem with them not knowing stuff. The problem is I have the problem where somebody is
unwilling to learn,
is demonstratively and purposely uneducated or uninformed. Like if you
Willfully ignorant.
just you don't want to have a look. You know what I'm saying? I don't have a problem having a debate or a dialogue, but you got to be open for the dialogue. And I have so many, and all my friends are in their 50s, late 40s and 50s, and I just don't have time. I just don't have the patience to kind of. And the other thing is, like you said 3 times around that, you get that. And these are not women. I mean, we're talking
Just
about
with
men.
people
Just
in general,
irrational, just people who are not willing to educate themselves. Just have
hear
an
you
idea
out,
about
or-
something.
yeah.
Didn't check it. I'm uncomfortable. I think one of the things about me that I'm so confident about is because I don't open my mouth and say something I don't mean. Like if I'm not sure about it,
Sure.
I will give you I think this is true, but I'm not sure, and I may not have time to look it up or whatever. But I'm never gonna state something I don't
That
know.
you're
what
not
the fuck
fully
I'm talking
100%
I can
sure
make
about.
mistakes.
Sure.
That's possible, but I'm not, and I don't. I find that, and it's not just older people. I'm just saying people in general. It's just this is why I think the world is going to shit because people are just not willing to learn. I mean, I've had.
There's no vulnerability or to go, hey, I don't know.
No empathy.
No empathy.
Yeah.
But also just there's an ego where you want to pretend you know. The human nature is to go, no, I know what you're saying. 2
of the rules that I say all the time is never let emotion have a seat at the table. You cannot function and you can't make decisions based if you have emotional if there's emotion present. So you always got to step back and remove that. The second thing I always say is that you never people don't. It doesn't change. Very rarely. I'm not gonna say that people don't change because that's not true. But very rarely do people make drastic changes on who they are without some catastrophic event or something to the extent where they find a need
Some external
to change.
requirement.
Yeah. It just don't happen, and people don't want to. It feels comfortable. This is why we say when people have, they seek out toxic relationships is because they've grown up in toxic parents. They've grown up with toxic mother fighting and arguing and maybe not acknowledging each other, not being empathetic to, not being kind and all those things. And then we go out into the real world and we look for those same things.
Well, that's because you're comfortable in that environment.
Yeah.
So you seek what is comfortable subconsciously.
Yeah.
So you're used to that.
Because it feels normal.
It feels normal.
Yeah.
Right. Hey, quick question. We got some. Are those interns? Who got in the booth?
Yeah, we got some interns here just hanging out.
They're watching. This is probably a good show to check
learning a
out.
bit.
How young are these guys?
You could talk to him.
Yeah.
Shit.
Got Brandon here. He's 29, just turned 29.
Oh, okay.
I'm 29. I'm Brandon. What's up?
Hey, Brandon, what's
Brandon
going
get
on?
pussy. I could tell him
Yeah.
he got that.
I like that he had
got
that.
the
He had the
stink
swagger
on
of a
him.
boy band. Like, hey, I'm Brandon. What's up?
He got a ponytail, like a real one too.
Oh yeah.
Not
like
like
a man bun.
not like
No, no.
ironic
Yeah,
where he's trying to be cool. He just
No,
puts it back because his
he's
hair
like,
gets in his face.
I don't got time to get a haircut. I'm busy getting pussy.
And who's
man.
the other?
Brandon. Who else?
This is Josh over here.
What up, Josh? Josh,
Yo, what's up?
what's going on? Josh got a big ass afro, like he's down with the Silvers.
Oh, okay.
He's the Michael Jackson brother, that big
Okay.
ass, just taunting his afro with me, my bald
Oh,
head, just like fuck you, baldy.
So how are you guys doing with the ladies? I want to get your perspective. You're young guys. How old are you again, Josh?
I'm 31.
31. These are older interns. Holy what? Gas Digital. We don't even go to the colleges anymore. Where are we going? Where are we getting these guys? Just people hanging out
College kids
outside.
don't want to work.
This is not for college credit. Are you both in college? Oh, okay. That explains a lot. Only Gas Digital would hire interns who don't get any student credit. But I mean, how are you guys doing, ladies wise? Josh, how are you doing?
I'm married.
Oh, nice.
Oh, you're married.
How long you married?
8 years.
Nice.
Okay.
Any kids?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Okay. Planning on it though.
Yeah, in
Okay.
a few years.
Brandon,
Dope.
how
I'm 29.
20?
He's
Yeah, no,
smashing
you did
puss.
say that. How are you with
I don't
somebody
even know
now?
why
No,
you-
I'm single.
You're
Yeah.
single.
I'm focused on myself right now.
That's another way of saying
Yeah, that's
he's
another
getting a
way
lot
to
of
get
pussy.
laid. That's an easy way to get laid.
No, I'm
Just-
being for real though. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I know you're being for real,
I'm a
but that's
29-year-old intern.
There you go.
But-
Like, I need to get my life together before I start paying attention to any woman like that.
it's a funny thing is when you do that anyway, you become attractive anyway. women find you attractive anyway because you're not looking to them. Like, you are the party. You become the party. And you should always do that. I mean, it's you should never not be focusing on that and yourself. You got to put yourself first, because if you don't, nobody else will. And how you treat yourself is directly related to how you're telling your significant other what your personal worth is.
Yeah, look at what
With
happened to Bill
yourself.
Belichick. Once he stopped focusing on himself, he's at a shopping mall at a Forever 21 holding
He's
bags
trying
in
to
his
sell
hands.
it all. He's ready to. He's cashing it in, all integrity, all. But when you
His whole reputation.
your confidence comes from the fact that you're
You're doing your own thing. You're focused on your drive and dedication.
You're honestly working on yourself in a way that you're trying to be a better person, and then, but what a lot of times we don't understand that the subtext of that to everybody around you is, I think I'm worthy. I'm worthy of good things. I'm worthy of happiness. I'm worthy of and that goes to everything. You go, even a woman. So, somebody. I mean, if you so focused on them, it's like, what are you doing? You have nothing to offer. And the only way you do that is by work.
Like, how cool is it? The three of them are chasing their dreams, right?
Yeah.
But some people don't think that's enough because you think like, oh, well, I don't have it yet, and she doesn't respect
Yeah.
it. I
Well,
don't have
and
it
then
yet.
they think that she doesn't think it's enough.
Right. All that matters is how much you think it's enough.
Can't tell you how many times I've done consultations and guys who are like, I don't have my, I'm just out of school. I'm trying to. I go, dude,
Who cares?
you're making you're discounting yourself from a situation that you don't even know that you've been knocked out of the game already.
Right.
I remember I consulted a guy. He was in Puerto Rico too, but he was like worked at a Walmart. And he had this like milfy chick that came in. Hello, Jose, how are you?
The Sofia Vergara
Yeah.
of Puerto Rico.
Oh my God, you're so handsome. And
That's so funny. Oh, let me see your receipt.
oh my God, you a greeter at Walmart, right? And then it would be, how the little hot mommies, the milfy ones come in. It's so good to and hug you a little longer.
Was she a like divorce?
She's a milfy, yeah,
Oh,
not
okay.
not a, but older chick.
Older chick, yeah.
And then
And
he
she's got a
fin-
high sex drive as Puerto
She's trying
Rico.
to get it.
It's hot. She's wearing jean shorts and
She's trying to get
sandals.
this young dude. She's trying to put it on him.
Right.
And he goes, man, I was going to ask her out, but I don't have a car. I go, as many times she flirted with you and rubbed them McGuffies on you, like she would come up, give him a hug, and
Oh, you said she gave him a kiss one time too, right? She
kissed him on the cheek, but she was in it.
She was in it.
And then he finally got enough,
Courage, yeah.
courage to ask her out. And he was like, but I don't have a car. I go, dog, the only thing she want a car for is to get you in the back seat of it, motherfucker.
Right.
You are. She never said, and I said, did she tell you you need to have a car?
Right.
He's like, no. I said, then what are you talking about?
What do you care about? What do you care about? You're a Walmart greeter. She didn't expect you to have a car.
She's trying
And
to
if you
get
don't,
it.
that's what you go. This is the reason I have a car. I'm working on it. I'm saving to have a car.
But you can't.
If you're righteous and legit. Now, if you don't have a car because you keep getting fired because you're drunk all the time,
Yeah.
well, that's a different story.
You can't. You can't assume that you know what somebody wants. You got. And if you do, 513-202-NERO. Phone lines are up. But I'm noticing. But here's the other thing I was telling you about, and this is something that you were talking about with your dad and stuff.
Sure.
You're going through your dad. It's just the recognition of what is what it is, and not looking at necessarily what it
What I want it to
what
be.
it wanted to be.
Having
It is
to
what
accept
it is.
what it is.
You gotta accept what it is.
Because that's the big problem in relationships. Dude and women are always going, oh, if only he could just be this way, or if only she would just stop doing this, then
Yeah.
it would be great. But she's not.
Yeah.
It's what you want, but you have to accept and analyze what it is.
Yeah, and you shouldn't. We got a call. Let's go.
Let's do it.
Yo, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Yo, it's Daniel, and I'm calling from Virginia, bro.
What's going on, Daniel? How you doing? How can I help you, bro?
Hey, yo, this is so surreal, bro. It's so weird. Hey, Let me ask you something, bro. First of all, I need to give you your kudos, bro. Like, you are so cool, bro. Like,
Thank you, bro.
how can I tell you the information that you're giving? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like literally like what you say, the life changing. You understand what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah,
Like, wow.
yeah. I mean, it will change your life, man. But how can I help you, brother?
So let me ask you this. Like, apart from being like, you know what I'm saying? The fact that you are taking power for yourself.
Yeah.
How can you like not let the power like corrupt you, basically? You know what I'm saying? Like, because you're learning how to defend yourself, but you also could be learning how to, damage
Okay,
people
so
and stuff.
it's actually that's an easy answer. One of the things is, so I don't know how long you've been listening to the content, but I always talk about the acronym ACE, right? I always talk about how to be authentic and truthful, right? Always being credible, always keeping your word and showing up, and thirdly, having the empathy to understand people around you, what they're going through, and that you may not be privy to it or might not understand it. So those are the three principles. And the reason why I use those principles, how that came into play, is because somebody asked me, how do you build confidence? How do you build self-esteem? And what I realize is, if you follow those three principles, you cannot be a better human being. Do you know what I mean? Human beings as a whole, we make mistakes. Two things you're always going to have to do is give forgiveness and ask for forgiveness. We're doomed to do that because human beings are imperfect. But if you approach every day with telling the truth, keeping your word, and giving a fuck about what other people think, and that doesn't mean letting them walk on you, but to take it into consideration when you make decisions, right? You can't be a better human being. How old are you?
24.
Okay, so out of all of your friends and acquaintances, how many of them tell the truth all the time, keep their word all the time, and are empathetic to other people?
No, not really. Like, I mean, not even from my friends or the people I know in general.
So
not
none.
many.
None.
It's like
None.
cero.
Right?
No hay
And,
nadie.
Basically.
and if you have somebody who tells the truth, a lot of times they don't keep their word, and if they keep their word, they don't tell the truth. There's always some. So if you think about that, those three qualities that in all of your existence, you can't even think of one person like that. Basic business tells you that the scarcity of products create value.
Value and demand,
The
yeah.
more scarce something is. So if you think about the fact that you can't name anybody who keeps their word and tells the truth, much less is empathetic as well. So when you become that, right, you become a commodity, right? And that commodity is that you know that you always tell the truth. You know that you always keep your word. You know that you're open and empathetic to other people, right? So you're aware of this because it is you're taking an active part into behaving in that way, right? So now all of a sudden people treat you different. It's funny, the big shouts to Major.
do.
There's people my boy, who said that people give you stuff, right? People treat you different. People
Yeah, actually, I was gonna tell you that. It's like, it's so weird because it's not only like you find more people that you like, but it's like the people that you like, it's like they kind of gravitate towards you, like they want you to approach them.
Absolutely.
You know?
Because it's so rare that somebody respects them or sees them or any of those things, right? So now, let's say all of a sudden you get situations where people are giving you things and you walk in the room and everybody treats you differently and you hold yourself in high regard. What happens if you abuse it? What are you actually doing? You're not having empathy, right? So the principle that gets you power, one of the principles that get you power, is also if you don't practice that, it makes you lose power, right? Because there's no dickheads that don't know they're dickheads. Anybody who's a jerk off, they know they're a jerk off. They're just accustomed to acting that way, and people people respond, and they don't want to be treated the way that they're treated. So when you start to work against those principles, you automatically it leaves you sort of like unprotected. See, Harry will tell you I don't lie at all. Like I'm always on it 100%. I use this analogy all the time. I had told a friend of mine that I took a cab, and I actually had taken an Uber. I called him back to tell him, hey, I didn't take a cab, I took an Uber. And he was like, yeah, okay. It doesn't matter to me. And I go, well, it matters to me. You understand? Now, in the context of that, if there's anything where my integrity is in question, you know what that guy would say to me? He won't even lie about whether he took a cab or an Uber. How could he lie about something bigger than this? You understand? So it works against, if you don't act the right way, it works, you lose it all. All the power that you gain, you lose it all. What happens if you become this guy and people love you and people respect you, and then all of a sudden you start lying? It affects the way you respond to people. It affects the way people respond to you. So it's the thing that gets you the power. If you go off and you abuse it or something, you lose the power.
What about the concept of empathy in general? Because I don't know if people fully understand it, you know?
I mean, I explained
they should?
The way I say it is that other people have gone through things that you don't know, put yourself in issues and try to see what that would be. Would I be okay with that? So what I'm saying is,
Okay.
you
Can I ask you now?
Yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, go.
Now that you say that, because I know you say that you are not religious, like I don't know what
Yeah.
Harry's, perspective is on this.
I'm not
But
religious
I know
either.
you say, okay, you're both not religious. But I don't think that is a religion, because have you heard about Taoism and all that stuff, right? And how they say that.
Wait, say that again.
Taoism, like from the.
Tao, like,
creation-
yeah, but
like
is
the
that
Tao?
really
That's not
is
so
that a
much a
religion?
religion
That's
as a
more
way of life.
a philosophy.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. In that they say that, because you say the ego is emotion, but they say that the ego is basically like when you say people treat you. And
Yeah.
They say something like, I mean, who are you exactly? Because we are all the same person type of understanding.
Okay, but what's
You know,
what's
like-
your question about religion?
That's what I'm trying to say. Like, how can you divide yourself from that? Because I mean, I do believe in that we are all the same. So like, let's say when I'm trying to approach somebody, in the same sense, like learning all this stuff.
Wait, are
makes
you a
me
Taoist?
kinda like-
Are you a Taoist?
I kind of gravitate towards it. Yeah.
Do you believe in a God?
No, more like like the, how can I say, the energies of nature.
Okay,
something
so let me
like
ask you
that.
this:
You understand?
Why don't you believe in a God?
I mean, because normally the gods that they put us, they show us is just like, oh, they control us basically. And
So you're
it
saying
doesn't seem like-
religion controls you, but that's not the same question as why you don't believe in a God?
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like the gods, I don't like what they call God. It could be the same as what the Tao they call.
I mean, it could be
everything,
a lot of things, but so let me since you asked me, let me just say this. What I say is I have not gotten enough information that would make me believe in any God. If somebody could give me information that would satisfy my logic that this exists, right? Then I would. So I'm open for the growth. I have yet to see any proof. And as we become more sophisticated technologically, we realize that a lot of the stuff in the Bible and the stuff is just ridiculous. I've never seen anything magic. I've never seen any. I mean, there's a possibility that all these things are possible, but I haven't had any proof to make me say that this is a belief system. So you got to understand how I approach things too. I don't put my name on nothing that I don't have proof for. That also gives me the confidence that I don't really have to feel insecure, because I'm never saying anything unless I have proof. You understand?
Okay, yeah, but what I'm saying is, like, let's say, so you say that ego is emotion, right?
Yeah.
but basically the you, like what you call the I, you know what I'm saying? Like I do this, what we call the I, that's supposed to be the ego, no? So we are emotions. So
I
you
think
say,
yeah, I agree. I think we're all of those things. My directions to that is just not to make decisions when you're in an emotional state. Do you understand what I'm saying? I think you're overcomplicating it with these other.
probably,
I
yeah.
just look. We have emotion. I think we are affected. We are emotionally affected by things. If you make a decision based on your emotions at the time, there's probably a good chance that you're going to make a shitty decision. That's all I'm saying.
True.
It's
No,
just
it's true.
simplified.
Yeah, religiously or not, that's just
Yeah, it's
emotion.
just simple. It's just if you got a girl, if you meet some girl and she's smoking hot and you excited and you like, oh, she's hotter than me or whatever, you're gonna make mistakes.
You'll be all horned up like Bill Belichick, who's
Yeah.
signing away his
Signing away his
children's
whole life.
inheritance
It's crazy.
to a 24-year-old that he met
No,
on a
I
plane.
can't lie. Like yo, just have like like for some reason it just works. Like I cannot even lie. Like even though I try to overcomplicate it, it just works. Like it just
Yeah, if you keep it simple, just keep it simple. I mean, I've tried to make it as simple as possible so I could teach it. And I mean, people would call it an ego, the id, the super, whatever. Now we have to explore these terminologies, right? That you may or may not know. You know what I
And
mean?
when all you have to do is go, this is what I kind of want. This is what I'm
I
comfortable
don't.
with.
This is what it is. I say what it is. It's the truth.
This is
Somebody
what I
asks me
do.
something, I tell the truth. If I say something, I keep my word. And hey, I got a girlfriend. She deals with things that I don't deal with and that I may not understand. So I'm willing to listen to what she is. And I think you can't. I mean, it seems simple, but like when I asked you when you first got on, who do you know that's like that?
yeah.
I don't even have people like that. Nobody. I mean, Harry, but
Yeah.
he gets emotional sometimes.
A little bit, but it's hard not to be swayed a little bit. But I try not to let that affect my decision
Harry will
making.
see the right answer and then go, man, I'm doing it, and he won't not do it, but he struggles with it afterwards.
Yeah, you want it to be something
Yeah,
else.
I
but-
relate.
But I don't. Yeah, I don't. I mean,
Let me
I'm
ask you something, Daniel. What you said the advice has helped you. What's your relationship status now, man? What are you doing? What are you up to? What's going on?
No, like that's what I mean, I didn't want to take like a long time, but like if I could tell a small story, you know what I'm saying?
Make it quick.
Basically,
Make it quick.
okay, super quick. When I was in school, I was like so shy because I was basically diagnosed with ADHD, basically, and I
Okay.
didn't have any friends, nothing. When I went to college, though, I just made this decision. I was gonna talk to anybody, So basically, the same thing, like the laying the fire brick.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
But I didn't know it was called that.
Right.
I tell you, brother, like out of nowhere, all the prettiest girls that I wanted, they was like literally throwing themselves at me like
Right.
that. Like there was literally girls that was like almost sexually assaulting me. Like there was a girl that was like, please, in the middle of like.
Let me ask you
weird,
this,
you know what I'm
Daniel.
saying?
By chance, did they think that you were Bad Bunny, just based on the accent?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know really like.
But
if they
the
thought I was
fact that
coolest girl or something, you know?
it's almost what's interesting about that is I kind of went through the same thing as a kid, where I was afraid of so much, and I just got afraid. I got tired of being afraid, and so I just started addressing. I just would talk to people, introduce myself to people. I mean, so we went through the same exact thing, and then what I realized is that everybody's afraid. Everybody's insecure. Everybody, I don't care who you think it is. You can put them in a situation where they're not comfortable and they're nervous, just like everybody else, and they want somebody to direct the social interaction. They want somebody to set the tone. And when you set
With
the tone,
masculine and feminine
oh
energy,
yeah,
it's just like,
and then once you set the tone, it makes it easy.
Dominant and submissive, you said, yeah.
Yeah, it makes it easy once you break that ice, and people, because you got to understand that we are human beings. We want to connect. So Man, thanks for calling in, Daniel. I appreciate you, though, man. Thanks. Keep listening, bro. And,
Yo,
you know,
thank you too. I really appreciate you, and I hope you have like a long life.
thank you,
I'm
brother.
gonna keep watching you, yo.
All right, brother.
Thank you, Daniel.
Later.
Yeah, please like, subscribe, share, like the Man School 202 page too, not just on Godfrey's page. Because
Wait.
Big
shout to Xavier Karina. Thank you for the $5 in the Cash App. Thank you so much. The Cash App is up. Send me some money. Somebody send me some money. I deserve it. Numbers up 513-202-NERO.
By the way, is this something we talked about with Dominic? You've noticed now, Dominic, she doesn't hit you up at all since she's got the new boyfriend,
Yeah,
right?
she texted me. I brought this up last time. She
Yeah.
texted me that one day.
Yeah.
And I kind of caved in. And then she didn't answer at all.
Yeah.
Right.
And then a few weeks later, she's posting with the new guy. And
You know what that's like? It's like her going, oh, let me just make sure he still gives a fuck.
In
Now
case this other guy doesn't
Now I
work
can
out.
ignore him.
Right.
Now, because if you didn't answer, she'd be like, well, what? I mean,
What the fuck is that about? Why isn't he?
Yeah.
But when you answer like just that, it's
When
like,
you
okay,
answer,
he's
it's
still,
like, yeah,
he's still invested. He's
yeah.
still on the hook. But I got this other buyer.
Yeah.
that I'm-
Now I just want to make sure that because we become our own what do you call it, rebound guy. They'll make your girl will make you your own rebound guy. There'll be no sex involved, but they will still lean on you for emotional and support and intellectual support and
You're giving her
validation.
comfort so that she can move on and
You
find
give her
somebody
comfort,
else.
and what you're doing is you're making it easy because she's getting from you what she wants, and she doesn't have to.
But it's important to remember that, Dom, because I went through the same thing with this one particular girl. I remember specifically, the one with the heroin addict boyfriend that she went back to. Because I wouldn't hear from her, and I'd be like, oh, I guess this is done. And then all of a sudden, when I didn't talk to her anymore, then she'd hit me back up. I go, okay, I guess this is back on. And then once this other dude came into her life, all of a sudden it was less and less, and then we should be friends. And
This was so long ago, too. This is one of our first fights.
oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, we discussed that one,
This was our first fight ever.
that I didn't listen to you.
Because I was giving Harry advice. And
I was excited. This was the first one under your tutelage that I had gotten.
Yeah.
But then I lost it because I didn't know.
Yeah, and he was like,
confident.
and here's the crazy thing. She came into Harry's house and she goes, oh, like, I forget how.
This is what happened. What happened was we'd already made plans, but she became cold because she had somebody else invested.
Right.
When I met her, she was by herself and she was like down and out. So she was much more vulnerable, right? And more open.
Right.
But the second this other dude, in hindsight, when I look back on it, came into the picture, all of a sudden she
came
was
back in the picture.
like, or was potentially in the picture because it would go up and down. And what I realized, because this was the date before the third and final thing, where, you know, so then she started having a little bit of like a coldness about the whole thing and an attitude. And what it was she came, it was a second date, but I had to feed my dog. So I brought her to my apartment just to feed my dog.
Yeah.
Nobody else had done it. And then later on, she brought up when she was like,
She said, oh, you came to my house and made your bed.
your bed was made already.
Like I
your
was
room
going to sleep
clean.
with you. And he was like, bitch, I make my bed every day.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? And she was like, no, you made your bed. That's how I knew you wanted to sleep with me.
And what that is, that had nothing to do with any reality. What that was, at that point, she had picked this guy. And what happened was she was upset because I said, because I did follow your advice on this. She goes, we had made plans. She was going to take me out on my birthday because I took her out on her birthday.
Right. And
when things were good.
you had cut her off kind of, right?
Well,
Or-
what happened was we had already made the plans to hang out on
Right.
my birthday as a reciprocation.
Right. And she came up
But
with
in
this
the
guy.
meantime, this other guy came back in the picture. So she called me up and she goes, hey, listen, you know, I'm
dating
excited to
this
hang
guy.
out with you next week or, you know, in like two days or
But
whatever.
she was saying, she told you she was dating this guy, though.
And she goes, I just need you to let you know that an ex of mine has come back in the picture and it's a serious thing and I want to make a go of it. And but I would still like to hang out and still be friends. And I said, all right, whatever. And then Dante goes, no, not whatever.
Why would
call
you-
her back up and tell her that you don't want to be friends with her? Because why do I? I don't. I
You
just
don't
want
want
to be.
to.
I didn't want to
And
be awkward.
understand this. The truth of it is that you don't want to be her friend.
No, I wanted to be her
You're-
lover. I
right.
wanted to be a couple.
And you weren't willing to settle for that. But what guys will do is dishonestly,
the hopes. If I stay
they will
in the picture,
stay and then hope that it changes.
if I stay in the picture, maybe this heroin addict, recovering heroin addict.
Fuck him. I
But
don't
hopefully
give a fuck.
something bad happens and he relapses, and then
Right.
guess who's in the picture again?
Whatever.
This guy.
Hey, this guy, right? This guy with 2 thumbs.
Hey,
right?
this guy.
And that's not the way it works.
That's not
'cause
the way
pity.
it works. So anyway, Dante goes, listen, call her up and tell her that you're not interested in being friends. So I did just that. I go, listen, I appreciate you offering, but honestly, I don't want to do that. I don't think we can be friends. And then she started crying on the phone,
Yeah,
going,
and he
I
bought
didn't think that
We
this
gotta
should be a
call. Hold on.
hookup. All right, we'll
Hold
finish
on.
this after that thing.
Yo,
Yo, what's good, Dante?
what's your name? Where you calling from, family?
Carol from New York.
What's going on? What's going on, Cal?
Recently, I got into an argument with my girl, and she reacted in a way that I didn't like, and she said she's sorry, and I do believe her in the moment, but I mean, I don't know
How
if
did she act?
the apology. What's up?
How did she act? What did she say? What did she do?
Well, not what she had. She was upset about this. Was like our first bigger argument that we had. We've been seeing each other for 6 months.
Okay.
And she reacted like we was out at a bar, and she allowed a guy to basically touch up on her
Really?
in front of me.
Was she drunk?
Yeah, we were both drunk.
Yeah, that ain't good. Bro.
That's not good.
That ain't good.
What? So you brought this up afterwards, and you said, "Hey, that's not cool," right? Or you did it in
I
the
brought
moment?
it- so I didn't do it in person, like on the spot,
Gotcha.
because we were both drunk. We were out in public, and I knew we already had an argument before this. It wasn't like a yelling argument. It was just kind of like it was a disagreement.
What was that
And
argument
I
about?
felt- Well, that is a big argument in our relationship. So she got herpes and I don't.
Mm-hmm.
She got what?
Herpes.
She got herpes and I don't. And I told her like, yo, I don't. This whole time we've been seeing each other, I was like, yeah, we could do it, but we got to do it when you're not breaking out, and we got to do it with a condom.
Right.
Okay. And her argument to that was what?
She's absolutely fine with that. Everything's been great.
Okay. So what was the
Well,
argument about?
The argument ended up becoming about. She was talking about the future. She's like, yeah, like I want kids. I'm like, yeah, me too. And it's a conversation we talked about several times over. But her answer has always flip flopped. But she said she didn't want it. She wanted it.
She does
She
want
thought about
kids
that.
or she don't want kids?
It always flip flopped. But the last time we talked, she's like, she wants kids.
So you
I'm
want
like,
kids?
Yeah, I definitely do.
Okay.
My thing was I didn't want to. I don't know if I want to do that because I'll have to have unprotected sex with her.
Yeah, he doesn't want a raw dog
Oh.
and end up getting herpes.
And then
Correct.
and so you think you'll marry her, be with her, and then still use condoms? That's what you're saying.
I was down for that.
Yeah,
And
actually,
we wanna have to,
he could do
when
it.
we have to try for a baby. No, we have to try for a baby. She had mentioned this before. Like, there's medication you could take that also could lessen the probability of that.
Yeah,
of me
yeah.
Getting it.
Yeah.
Or you could do
That
it.
would be the only window of me risking it. But other than that, we get there when we get there. I'm not doing that beforehand.
And there's other
And
medical
she's saying
options,
what?
too.
What is she saying? What's her argument?
She flipped. She was like, I thought like at some point, once we became official, like you would just be hitting it raw because there's only a small chance. And I'm like, well, I don't want to do that. And this is not to end things. I don't want to do that. And
Right.
I never, and I never made her feel shit about herpes or anything like
Right,
that.
right.
I
But
just,
you're like, I don't make you feel uncomfortable. I don't want it either.
correct. And then she's like, well, if we're gonna be together, like the plan is to be together forever, then it wouldn't matter. And I'm like, well,
Until
I'm
you're
not
not
naive.
until you're
Right,
not
yeah, I'm
together
not-
forever.
Right.
And it seems silly to even
So-
say that because we've both been in
Here's
long-term relationships that
Yeah.
didn't work. So it's like,
Here's where the emotion comes in, because this is not about her wanting to raw dog. What this is about her going is, you don't want to do this because you still plan on having sex with a woman after me, and that there's something after me.
Yeah.
That's
It's
the
also
emotion
that
part.
you think she's dirty in her mind.
Sure, that's
she
too.
feel,
oh yeah, no, I get what you're saying. In her mind, I don't feel that way, but I get in her mind.
right, but you also can make a choice to not want to get herpes
Yeah,
and not
That's
risk
a
it.
fine
But
choice.
what in essence, what she's saying is risk getting herpes to show me you love me.
And I'm just not doing. I'm not gonna do that.
No,
You know where this relationship goes, right?
Down the toilet and after that statement. But
Yeah, so
now,
go ahead.
Yeah, so after that conversation, she was essentially like the next day she was saying like we talked about it, and I was like, because initially during that fight, the pill thing hasn't been brought up or like the grand scheme of things. But
Wait, you broke up. Say again.
It's like, yeah, what's up?
You broke up a little bit. What did you say? The day that conversation happened, what did you say after that?
So during the fight, we didn't get to the point of like, yeah, I'm willing to go raw when we have kids, but not anytime.
Right. I'm not. We just not gonna be together, and I'm just.
So then the next day we had the conversation like, yes, I am open to the raw, only at this moment.
Right.
And then at that point, I also had to bring up, yo, what the fuck you did last night was not cool at all.
Wow.
Same day? That conversation was same day?
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah,
Here's the thing. I want to judge you, but I am well, let's take care of all this shit right now type of bit, which is not necessarily the best way to do it. But if you put me in a corner sometimes, if the first thing doesn't go pleasant, I go, well, you know what? Let's handle all the business and take care of it now.
I hate this. Go ahead.
Okay.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say we came to an agreement. Like, all right, yeah, go ahead.
She said we can't do what in it?
I said we came to an agreement.
Yeah.
That, yes, we would try. We would do the trying once the baby shower.
Yeah, this is not gonna be okay, bro. This is not gonna be okay. There's no way in the world. There's no scenario in my head as I run through all the
computing options
in the multiverse where this
Doctor Strange.
There's no way that this works.
The probability of you getting herpes is very high.
Well, it's and it may not be. I don't even know medically what it is. My point is the probability of this working out when he has and you have absolutely. I respect the fact that you're taking this stand and you're not bending your stand simply because of the fact that she's uncomfortable with it. But
you know who's willing to get herpes? Bill Belichick. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Would be raw dogging that 24-year-old.
Raw dogging that 24-year-old right now. He's doing it right now. It's 5 o'clock and it's the early bird special they call it. So, but
you respect him for not.
I respect you for keeping your ground, but there's no situation where this gets comfortable for her. Honestly.
Yeah, that's a big thing. I want to know a little bit about that other fight, though. So you're at a nightclub or hanging out at a bar or something, right? Everybody's a little tipsy, and then how does she rub up on somebody, or she let somebody rub up on him?
How does and then check him?
Yeah, so
how did she let somebody rub up on her? Explain the scenario for me.
She didn't meet him, so we actually went to that spot because it was so we got hooked up. We're in New York, so we get to a bar. We knew somebody that was hooking us up. It was a friend that she used to work with. And then he sent us somewhere else, like, yo, we are all to get to another spot. We got there. And it was like another worker that she knew from a long time ago.
Right.
He pulls up with his girl. And then whatever, they start talking, oh, hi, hello, regular shit. And there was some touching on each other, and I'm like, she don't even act like this. I know she doesn't act like this because there's been other times where guys had approached her, and she's just like, I'm good, I'm not.
So she hugged a little too hard there, or she
was tipsy. So
it was him. She didn't press it, but everything he did, she allowed. So it was like he was rubbing on her back and shit, and talking a little too close. I mean, that music wasn't that loud, bro.
Yeah.
Talking man close,
I love that.
Yeah.
See, what I like about you is you have,
and she's allowing it. Like you know what she was doing, and I didn't.
And when you confronted her, did she understand that she was doing it? Did she admit?
Yeah. What did she say when you said?
Exactly. So when I brought it up the next day, I was like, so like this is what you did. Like I saw it, and I wasn't bugging because other people saw it too. Because it was not her close friends, but people she used to work with, so they know her relatively.
Okay.
And I was like, they looking too, like they felt a little awkward, like, yo, what the fuck is up? And I'm like, I didn't make a scene. I'm talking to her now, giving her that chance to talk about it sober. And her trash ass response, in my opinion, was just like, well, I think subconsciously when I felt like you didn't want to be with me long term anymore after the herpes.
Oh, so she threw it in the pot.
Yeah, she tried to, like, oh, I'm doing this now. So
Dog, I ain't gonna run. I don't know how I'm gonna have. I don't know. Yeah, run. Like first of all, I'm fucking you and you got herpes. You better be on your best behavior. You you better have your biscuits better not ever be dry. If you make cornbread, it better be moist because I'm getting rid of your ass. It just seems to me. How old are you?
And yeah, I'm 30 and 31 in 2 weeks.
You young to put up with this shit and you arguing with somebody and you got to deal with that too. And then there's man, get the fuck out of here. You're bugging. You're bugging. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just seems. I mean, you're gonna ride it out because I know you already in it, but you know, she's not even considering the as much as you are bending already. You know what I mean?
That's what I brought up to her. She just felt like she thinks she's the only one that is putting stuff up in a relationship. I'm like, yo, there's both of us. Like,
yeah,
she's like concerned about shit not working out. I'm like, yeah, that bothers me too. But it's like, oh, but I'm not gonna have. She's like, well, if that thing doesn't work out, you could start another relationship. And it's like, oh, I can't have kids soon. But I'm like, so what? We're gonna forcefully have a kid now?
Yeah, you gotta run. That's gonna go left really quick and fast. So, and I just don't think you're too young to have to deal with this. I mean, let it run its course, but mark my words. I mean, I put it to you like this: when it breaks up, when it falls apart, give a call in. Make sure you call in. All right.
It's gonna fall about that age. Are you saying it's gonna fall that bad, or are you?
Yeah, it's gonna go. It's gotta. You can't. This is not sustainable.
Yeah, I guess so. It felt very normal and sustainable up until this point. That's what really.
Yeah, because you had to get to the point you hadn't really confronted it.
Yeah.
So I mean, things changed. I mean, as you go deeper, I mean,
It does.
You don't. There's things that you're not going to consider. You're considering now that you didn't consider before, and and as it moves forward and people want to link their life with you, they're asking you for more sacrifice and more empathy and all of those things. So, you know what I mean? It just seems to me like a lot, and the fact that she's not even being, malleable about this, considering.
Right. She did apologize.
Yeah, but it's like, how dare you? Let me ask you this. If you had told her that you had herpes, you think she'd have fucked you? And she didn't?
Oh, that's a good point. No, she wouldn't.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like...
If she had no herpes and there's no ways you could have told her, I feel like we really had a connection.
Let's get close.
And you know what I'm saying? And then, and she would go, oh, sure, fine. Let's just make sure you wear a condom. You think she would have said that? Hell no.
She didn't voluntarily get that either. She got that shit. Somebody, played it when she was young. But
that's fine. That happens.
That's not the dude. If I end up in a fire, and I look like a burn victim, nigga, whether you gonna say I'm gonna be with this melted motherfucker because
that's what
wait,
what?
what?
I'm saying. I was agreeing with you guys. I don't know if
yeah, like I'm saying, if I'm in a fire, I'm gonna go to some girl that you gotta date me because I didn't start the fire, and she's like, okay, Freddy Krueger.
Is that what that Billy Joel song is about? We didn't start the fire?
That's what it is.
It's about herpes? Oh, that makes a lot more sense now.
And now I'm burnt, and you like, oh, but I'm such a good guy. Yo, when is a woman gonna go, you know what? I'm signing up for this.
Also, how would she act if you were rubbing up against if you let some other chick rub against you too?
And she goes, well.
Yeah, she always embellished because, I go out, I talk to people because even when I'm with her, I got a late birthday.
Yeah, so now she's blaming it on you. You do it too, right?
No, she didn't blame it on me, but I called her out on it because there's been times I talk to girls and she'll be like, yo, you was flirting. I said, how was I flirting? I was just talking.
Yeah.
And then she would embellish the story. I'm like, that shit didn't happen.
Yeah, this is going to be
You're
a
not
problem.
committed to this relationship.
This is
You're
gonna be a
talking to
problem.
other women. You don't want to get herpes.
If you really love me, you go out and get herpes and come back.
Wow. Yeah, it's going to be, this
and
is going to be a tough
you know
one.
what? Weirdly enough, you don't have to go out. I got herpes right here in the house.
And you guys been together 6 months?
6 months.
Yeah, this is a lot of problems.
6 months did.
Yeah, dog, this is
a lot of problems.
I know soulmates who break up with less problems than this. You know? You know.
Is
But
there any
yeah.
other? I mean,
I guess it really came crashing down like this. It just happened. It just happened 2 days
So
ago.
you gotta
so Dante, what is your full advice here? Just
I told him,
just
run.
snip and run here.
run. This is gonna be nothing but a problem. It's only gonna get worse.
I mean, that's a lot. There's a lot of drama going on. The herpes thing is for someone to insist that you get herpes. Insist,
yeah.
not like you must get herpes.
You must. If you love me.
She said the risk is so. She was like, "Yeah, my exes didn't get herpes. They just fucked." And I was like, "All right,
Well, we don't know that first of all, because someone who gets herpes is not going to tell you they.
You know, they're not gonna be like, oh, guess what? So
You're not going to see that under their Twitter bio.
you know
Well-
what I mean? And the thing is, look, whatever they did, they did. You set your
Exactly.
boundaries, and I really respect the fact that one of the things, I don't know if you heard me say that is relationships are easy. Just know what your non-negotiables are, and then never negotiate them. You know?
I like that this guy with the herpes is reasonable, but the guy with the dog who has anal leakage,
He's not. He don't give a
he
fuck.
couldn't be spoken to.
Thank you, D. I appreciate you.
Uh,
All right.
Good luck, bud. It's going to be tough, but you'll find somebody, and they
Run.
probably won't have herpes.
Cut and run. Or get somebody with herpes that's humble.
That's nice, you know?
Get a
Yeah.
humble herpes
Yeah.
chick. You
You
can't
can have herpes, or
can't-
you
you
can
can
be
have an
mean.
attitude
Yeah,
or
but you
have-
can't do both, right? You can't be a douchebag who has herpes. You can't be unpleasant and have herpes.
And I think it's so cool that he's like, yo, I totally get it. It's not your fault, whatever.
That's a lot right there
Yeah.
to be, but she doesn't. There's always more.
Yeah.
They want everything and whatever's left over. It's not enough that you are okay with her having herpes. Now you got to have herpes
You
too.
wouldn't have it too.
Because if not, it means that you don't love me.
Let me tell you something. When it comes to this house,
Yeah.
everybody
Yeah,
has herpes.
we're all getting herpes. You get herpes. You get herpes. Josh gets herpes. Brandon gets herpes. Domino gets herpes. Everyone's getting herpes.
Herpes in the car, herpes on the couch, herpes in the kitchen. Anyway,
Unbelievable.
It's crazy.
God, man, just when you think you've heard it
the
all.
fuck?
We've been doing this show for, I don't know, more than 15 years. 15 years at this point?
Been about 15 years.
This is you just think that's why I love asking people what the arguments are about, because it's just you can get to the core, it's selfishness, but with the notion of going like, I just feel like the fact that you are unwilling to get herpes shows you have like a lack of you have commitment issues, because she probably threw it at him like, I just feel like you have
And
commitment
what do you bring to the table?
Yeah.
I bring herpes. How about that?
Oh, here we go, bringing up the herpes again. Wow.
Anyway, the dog needs herpes.
Yeah.
In fact, we're gonna get a pet koala. Oh no, they have chlamydia, right?
Chlamydia.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some of them that have herpes.
Probably got
They're just
herpes.
known to have
Koalas
chlamydia.
Koalas
Koalas is dirty.
They was at the Diddy party. They was
He had
at
a lot of. Some of them won't testify because they're, but they'll do under a mask or whatever. But yeah,
They put on rabbit ears and go in and
koala. This koala was like,
You
I
see a
did.
shadow
Yeah.
with rabbit ears.
One of the koalas was like, I was invited. I didn't do anything.
I left
But-
before the freak off.
I know a kangaroo, and he was all in that. He was all with Cassie. That kangaroo is dirty.
One of my stripper friends, one of the young boy that I kind of looked out for back in the days, really good dude, just testified on TMZ.
You do know
He
somebody?
he did 12. He got commissioned to do 12 strip shows at the Diddy party, the freak off.
12.
12.
God damn. Some good money though. No, that's where my mind goes. Man, how much did he make?
He made.
He did pretty well.
Diddy? Diddy's cheap though.
Is he cheap?
I used to bounce for his parties, and we always had a problem getting paid.
From Diddy.
Oh yeah.
Oh, what the fuck?
He might still owe me
You know, that's
$150.
that's the worst thing about him.
Yeah.
You know, that's the most despicable thing. Pay your bills, man. Okay? Pay your bills. Yeah, you're sex trafficking allegedly.
Sure.
And you're
Look,
hiring people to bang your girl, but pay your bills, man.
pay your
Have some
bills. What do you
decency.
think this is? What kind of man are you?
Now I'm against him. I was on the fence before, but now
Yeah.
I'm off. I'm off the whole thing.
All right.
So you know somebody who was at a Diddy party. Technically, you
he-
were next to a Diddy party.
I could call him now and say what's up if I could say it, but I'm not. I don't wanna.
It's the wrong time to call him. Hey, man, just want to see what you're doing.
Yeah, I could. It's what's funny. I wonder if he got paid. 'Cause Diddy's always sick. But that's how we got cool because some dude wouldn't pay him. He was young then, you know.
Oh wow.
And I was like the big dog, and then he was like, they won't pay me, and I was like, come here, come on.
Oh boy. You took him under your wing.
Took him under my wing, got his money.
Oh boy.
We've
Wow.
been
Is he? I
friends
mean,
there.
is his name out there or no?
Name is Punisher.
Yeah, Punisher. Yeah, he's out there. Well, a dude, you gotta hire a dude named Punisher.
Can you bring it up, fucking?
Can we
Dom?
find out, Dom? Punisher
Yeah,
is.
I'll try to look for
Yeah,
it.
you can look for
TMZ had it.
6 Degrees of Diddy. I'm trying to figure out if I know anybody who was at a Diddy party. Who are some of the celebrities who have been? They've announced.
I was 1 degree from the
Diddy
trade
party.
building,
Oh, from what?
from the
World Trade Center.
the first trade center.
Oh, the first one.
Let me see.
My mom worked across the
No,
street. from it.
9/11 from 9/11. One of my dudes sold a gun to
To who?
the trade guys.
Oh, to one of the
guys,
terrorists.
pilots.
One of the pilots.
Yeah, sold a gun.
Is
to
that what we're
them.
gonna call them? Pilots? Is that what we're referring to?
I mean, they
Is that what the Wikipedia says?
Test. They, they
Muhammad Atta, pilot. Is that
They
what
did-
he's gonna be
they
known
did.
for?
513-202-NERO. Did you find it, Dom? I think I have a picture of it.
The Diddy party. Wow, man. Let's.
Yeah, my man Punisher. I was like, yeah.
I like the lawyer, the poor lawyer who has to defend Diddy. I know
I
he has
helped
to
him
do
put
a
his.
job
I helped him put his costume together and everything.
for the male stripping when you
Yeah,
guys used to
yeah.
be exotic dancers
Yeah,
together.
it was,
All right, so I think I found a picture of him. Let's see.
Okay, let's see. It should be. Let's see. Dante, is that your friend Punisher?
Let me see. That's him.
That's
That's Punisher.
that's Punisher.
There's a Daily Mail article about him.
Oh boy! Now, what did he have to do at the Diddy party? What is
Yeah,
it saying?
the
had
script.
to
He
do,
probably
Dom?
did his act. Hold on, I'm gonna show you right now.
When would this have? What time period? Let me see. What time period would this have been? That Punisher.
I mean that shit. We was. I mean, I stripped until '99. He still strips now. Shit.
He's still doing it.
He
Still has a love for the game.
You see the picture I sent you, Dom? Yeah, I helped him put his persona together.
Punisher. I keep putting in Punisher and the movie comes up. I'm sorry. Diddy party. I like the lawyer at the Diddy party, the Diddy trial rather. Has to go. Yes, my client did a bunch of these things. Sure, he hired prostitutes. Sure, he filled a pool
But
with
it was
baby oil.
consent.
But none of it was sex trafficking.
Yeah.
Let's get that very clear.
Yeah.
And there's nothing illegal about baby oil.
I don't even follow. Are you following it?
A little bit here and there. I mean,
I don't give a fuck.
Doug
Roman Polanski is still doing. He was a straight rapist, and
Yeah, he
he's
should
still
be.
doing films and turning them into.
So you're
Disneys.
saying the
I'm-
problem
I
with
don't
Diddy
wanna
is
hear
that
it.
the albums weren't good enough.
Oh, he's a black dude. That's what.
Oh,
it is.
okay.
So you gotta,
Well,
I
like
mean,
that. Did you hear that Suge Knight did an appearance on Cuomo's show from jail because he's
yeah.
in jail? So he called in.
Yeah, Cuomo's show is trash now.
Well,
It's really.
got Suge Knight doing a appearance from jail.
What about Tupac?
No, about Diddy.
Oh,
About Diddy. But 50 Cent is loving it.
oh, he's having a ball.
But yeah.
You got it?
The picture didn't go through. I could keep looking through Google if you want.
Well, what's the
I'll
story say? Let me see the story here about Diddy and Punisher. And
No, he hired him for a bunch of.
oh, he was in court. He testified already. Exotic dancer, the Punisher, on how he found out Diddy's identity. Uh-oh.
Yeah, the article I'm looking at said he did over 12 parties.
Okay, an exotic dancer
Did
called.
you get? It's not going
This is
through.
from the BBC. An exotic dancer called the Punisher discovered his client's identity when he turned on a hotel television before an encounter, and the
Did it
screen
come
said
down?
"Welcome, Sean Combs."
What
on the-
happened? Oh,
That's how he found out the
was-
guy who hired him
he
was.
was- oh,
that
okay.
It was Diddy. I guess maybe his
Yeah, he
thing
just
was
got probably just got hired.
just sitting in a corner or whatever while he watched the dudes bang.
All
his
my
girlfriend.
old head strippers, they was like, "Yo, he trying to get it." I was like, "Shut up! All you motherfuckers would have been in the goddamn party
Yeah,
if
you're
you
just
got."
jealous you
I
didn't
know
get-
I'd have been in the party.
Yeah.
What nobody knew was Dirk.
Yeah.
All kinds of pedophilia.
And the invitation says Diddy party. It doesn't say like rape
Yeah,
fest. You know.
nobody. I mean, if you got to be there to be on.
Now,
like,
if you show up again, if you show up 4 or 5 times, then that's on you. Because
if
now
you,
we know what
if
you
you
like.
didn't see the dirt going on, if you weren't privy to the freak off. I mean, even if it was, I was like,
Okay, well, he gives his real name. I'll leave that out. But the Punisher testified. I called to the stand the Punisher, Your Honor. testified that at the hip hop mogul sex trafficking trial,
There it is.
that he was hired. Yeah, there. Oh, geez, they found the S&M outfit.
That's his character. He's the Punisher.
And they said he was hired to create sexy erotic scenes with Combs' then girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, while a naked man watched from the corner. But he did not realize at first that the man in the corner was Mr. Combs. That changed when Mr. Hayes was waiting for his clients in a luxury hotel suite and saw his name on the TV welcome screen. So he saw "Welcome Sean Combs" that they put on the. Well, you know, it's a hotel room. They go, well, we want to give you a nice welcome.
When you check in. Yeah, that's my man.
We didn't realize we were going to interrupt
Good
the cuck
dude, man.
fest.
Good dude. He was a teacher. Too.
So technically, P. Diddy's cucking. He's doing cucking.
He's
Okay.
doing it all, baby. He's out there.
You know,
all.
lost in all this talk about the baby oil is the cuck play. But
He's
did
doing it all, dog.
He's pled not guilty to racketeering, sex traffic, and transportation to engage in prostitution. Oof. Mr. Hayes testified in a New York courtroom on Tuesday about his first meeting with the couple. He was specifically told not to acknowledge the man in the room, and he said Combs wore a veil over his face. Oh,
Yeah.
come on, man. Just fucking do it missionary
dressing
style.
like blanket.
Dude, what happened to just doing it missionary style and then hitting your nuts after you come with like a hammer or something? Just have some decency in a corner with a veil over his face, but completely naked.
The problem is none of this is a problem as long as it was
As
consensual.
long as it's consensual, sure.
513-202-NERO. Call it up. Give me some money, goddammit. Cash App is open. How's the chat going, Tom?
No super chats tonight. It's a bit slower night tonight.
All right. Yeah,
Inside the room, the furniture was covered in sheets, and there was little bowls on the floor with baby oil, bottles of baby
he likes
oil
some
in it.
baby oil, bro. He likes some baby oil. He loves a little baby oil. That's his jammy jam.
The instructions included This is the part where we're all fine with him watching. This is the part the details make it creepier. Obviously, the worst part is the non-consent. Let's get that out of the way. But second to that is that part of the instructions included adjusting candles and instructing the two to have sex. Sometimes Miss Ventura would wince or sigh at the mogul's suggestions, he said. Other times, she would look at Mr. Combs for consent for certain activities. Wow, that's wild. This whole thing is wild. A lot of people are coming forward claiming they were paid to have sex with Miss Ventura.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay, so that's well. There you go. Now you know somebody. You're one degree away from a Diddy party.
My man, I can't confirm or deny. I might have had a few freak offs on my own.
Non-Diddy freak offs.
Not Diddy freak offs, but my
That you held your own freak offs?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
Now, what would that entail? How would you do this?
Usually, I'd be doing a show and shit would get crazy.
So these were impromptu freak offs. You didn't. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't send invites out.
Okay, I don't know. Maybe it's not. You act like it's a crazy thing that I request. One time, you and two other guys banged 13 girls in a hotel room, and then you act like I'm a maniac. I didn't plan it.
Well, I didn't.
Excuse me, sir.
Who plans that?
Yeah,
my
who
friend?
plans that?
We call it the Dirty Baker's
The
Dozen.
Dirty Baker's Dozen. It was the three of you. Although your guys left you behind, it was just
They
you
did.
versus
They left the man behind.
versus 11.
They were not Marines.
And you know
They
what?
left the man behind.
I wish I could say you managed to take on all those 11,
I
but it
didn't.
just ain't that way.
It wasn't. It was
It
13.
just doesn't turn out like Morgan Freeman
I
and
took
Shawshank.
down 11 out of 13.
You tried. You tried your best.
So I could. I mean, but I'm one man.
You're just one man.
What are you gonna do?
Wild. Okay. What were your what was your freak off consist of?
It would just be a thing where okay. So what would
You're not under oath, by the way.
What would usually happen? It would be a lot of scotch and amaretto. Usually
Okay.
a lot of that.
Okay.
My boys would get me a little turned up, and then they would just step back, just stand back.
Oh, so they knew you were the draw.
Oh,
So what
yeah,
they're
well,
trying to
yeah.
do is like, listen, we want to get all these
They
women.
get
but
me fucked up, and then
in order to do it, we got to give Dante a spinach like Popeye.
then all of a sudden I'm spitting in somebody's mouth, and they're like, "Whoa, what the fuck happened?"
Next thing you know, you're all at a Holiday Inn near the LaGuardia Airport.
Under the
and-
table, we're under the table. Insanity.
Oh wow!
Um,
Yet you turned up, and then okay.
Yeah,
All right.
they used to get me drunk, and
But all consensual, not a problem.
All
Everybody
consensual.
was consent.
I didn't even understand that. Like,
I don't understand the joy.
why
of
do you
doing
want to
it.
be? It shows a level of. I mean, here's what's crazy about that. It shows a level of low self esteem because I don't want to be with somebody who don't want to be with me. Do you know what I mean? Like like if you're not down, like you know,
I
I'd
don't.
be
It's
like
because then it becomes less about sex. It's some psychological thing
about
to
power.
make up. It's about power.
power and control.
While he's just in a room with a veil over his face, jacking off.
I
Going,
could make her do this.
I'm not. I'm not a Biggie sidekick, just whacking
Yeah.
off. I'm telling you, I could do my own thing.
I could do whatever I want to do. You know?
I'm just as good.
Yeah, that's what's crazy. But what I was talking about before was just the acceptance of things. You know, like being able to accept this. It's like, for instance, we just had the call about the girl. Like you already could see. Okay, so here's the situation. And this is why I said run.
Okay.
Like
The herpes call.
Yeah, it's 6 months in.
Okay.
You're 6 months in. You got her getting drunk and she's like wilding out in front of you, right? I don't care how drunk you are, right? Like that says something about her character.
Yeah, it kind of does. Because my girl, no matter how messed up she would be,
yeah,
is not just feeling up some other dude or letting some dude grab her.
all in the face, and then in other words, when your explanations when we had this argument, I figured I didn't know whether we were gonna go to be together. So you had made this decision monolithically on your own.
So I missed that little portion of it. Explain.
So
that,
she said he brought it up and she was like, well, we weren't gonna. We got to call. Hold on.
Okay, let's take it.
What up? Where you calling from, family?
Oh, Kareem calling from the Bay Area.
What up, Kareem? How you doing? How can I help you?
Oh man, so I had a question. So, I had a situation where, I mean, obviously I've been listening to you since Beige Phillip. I never really got into but never mind, doesn't matter. Anyway, so my question is this: is that so I'm dealing with this chick, right? And I know you always say, lay the 5 bricks and stuff like that, never compromise your manhood and stuff like that.
Right.
So what I started to run into is this situation where it was a lot of anger and resentment from her, and then as soon as I scream on her about some shit, then she's like trying to fuck me again and stuff like that.
Okay, wait. So there was anger. You were with her. Y'all were together.
So we were correct. So basically, we were, it's kind of like a situationship, whatever you call it.
Okay.
So everything was cool, and then she started getting more and more upset.
About what?
Just random shit that would happen. And
like,
she would just,
what?
I'm sorry, not
like
just,
what?
Like shit she suffered trauma and stuff like that.
Yeah, but no. What is she saying the problem is?
Well, she just is upset. Not even with me, just with things that worked out in her life. Like she's upset that she didn't have a child earlier. She got miscarriage, all this other stuff. Like she's older and all this other stuff.
Yeah, but she's pointing this at you. You're saying you and her had arguments.
Well, we had arguments because she's bringing that energy to me because I'm just the closest person around. So
right, but what is she going at you about?
So typically it's usually just about how she's just upset about the choices that she's made. That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah, but that's not pointed at you per se.
Correct. Now, how I factor into the situation is typically I listen, I go through all the trials and tribulations as I'm listening to her. But what happens is that she is one of those one-sided things where she only wants to talk about her issues and doesn't really want to hear mine.
So she's selfish.
So typically.
Yeah, but I'm saying, are you and her arguing, or is she just using you as this kind of doormat to unload on all the time, and then
both.
Y'all are not arguing? Because you did say y'all are arguing.
Yeah, both.
But what is she arguing with you about?
Basically, she's arguing with me about specifically, like maybe some of the things that she feels like I'm not doing.
Like what? Like what?
Like intimacy stuff. Like when she's talking about because she made this comment about how she, I never initiate, but I'm like, you're very particular about how you like to, have sex and stuff like that. So I usually have to wait because literally it's like I don't want to say like a drill sergeant, that's messed up, but literally it's like you got to be ready to pivot with her because it's like, okay, do this position, that position. So I told her, I was like, that's why. So basically, long story short,
It sounds like you don't enjoy the sex.
She's controlling. Is she controlling in the sex, like the direction of it?
very, very much so. Very
Yeah,
much
that's
so.
no fun.
And basically, what it really comes down to is that she feels like, okay, if I control how these things are going and stuff like that, then I'll get the optimum out of the situation. And then
You get to say that again?
So what she feels is if she controls these aspects of sex, that what'll end up happening is that she'll have more control and she'll be able to get the quote unquote
better orgasm
type relationship. No, I mean
she's using it as leverage.
Correct.
Okay.
But the crazy part about it is she'll move the goalposts when we argue, right? And she'll be like, "Well, you're not doing this," and of course, as a man, I know you say you're not.
Wait, when she says you're not doing this, what do you mean? Give me a specific.
So what she'll say something to the effect of like, "Well, you don't, like I said before, she's like, you don't initiate sex." And I'm like, well, yes, I do. And I point out these different things, and then she'll say,
if you initiate sex, would she reject you?
It depends on how I come at her. If I come at her in a way that she don't like, then she'll just be like, no.
So,
you know what I'm saying? So, for instance, let's say if I
how long you been with her?
It's been about 2 or 3 months. And the sad thing about the situation is,
you want to hear what I got to say about this, or you?
Judge Dante's ready to rule.
I'm ready to rule. I've heard enough. I have heard enough.
Yeah.
First of all,
you know what sucks? Dante? It's the same thing. It's like she's bad. And
yeah. So what?
Like, how you by yourself?
So
exactly.
what?
I'm like, how you by yourself? And I'm like, oh.
That is
right. Oh, now.
Kareem, you already know what the thing is. I can tell in your voice, you know what it is. You just wanna confirm.
And you're putting up with this because she's bad. That's why.
Correct.
But
and
she's never. But I'm gonna tell you, she ain't gonna be so bad that's gonna keep your attention. If this is early, here's my question. What is your question?
Oh yeah.
Well, my question to you is like, I think the thing. Why is it that every time, like, because we'll have this argument, I'll scream on her, and then I get 50 million texts. Is like, yo, I want to suck your dick. I want
because she's abusive. So let me explain to you about abusive people, right?
Right.
Whenever you have an abusive relationship, what do you have? You have a person who is abused, right? And you have the person who does the abusing, right?
Right.
Usually, people are like those type of relationships because they've had those relationships in their household, like they grew up around that, right? Now, the reason why they approach life with the purpose of finding dynamics like that is because it feels like home to her, right?
Yeah.
She's comfortable with the this abuser-abusee kind of relationship, right?
Right.
The difference is this. Whenever you have somebody who's abusive like that, throughout their life, they will find people who are more abusive than them or more selfish, and some people who are less. Right? If you're less, then you'll be the abuser and she'll be the abusee. If she meets somebody who's a bigger dirtbag than her, he will abuse her and she will take the submissive position.
Right.
They don't care role they play.
They don't care which archetype they play as long as both archetypes are present. You understand?
As long as it's chaotic, because that's what they're used to.
Because the environment is dependent upon somebody abusing and somebody being abused, and it doesn't matter that they're comfortable in the environment in that fish tank. You know what I mean? So as long as you have both of those, it doesn't matter who plays what, as long as both archetypes are fulfilled. And the problem is when you scream on her, right, you become more abusive. Even if it's just reactional, even if she deserves it, you're becoming more dominant, and so she takes a submissive position. Now, you can either stay with her and treat her like trash all the time, which it doesn't sound to me like that's who you are anyway.
Which takes a lot of energy.
Nah, that's too much energy for me.
I can't.
I'm about to be 46 tomorrow.
Yeah,
that's too much.
I need low energy. I can't. Like, I was even thinking about it. I was looking at the text. It was so many text messages of, oh, let me fuck that.
Oh, you a
I'm
Taurus?
looking, I'm
You a
like,
Taurus?
it depends on which one you go with.
Yeah.
Some say Taurus, some say Gemini.
Yeah, I think May
I don't
20th it
believe that.
ends, but whatever.
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah,
but
that's a
yeah,
female
my
thing.
birthday
I
was the
don't get it.
13th. But yeah, she's always gonna look to recreate those environments, and if she does, yeah, I mean, then you have to. So
no, the thing I was going to say, the thing that struck me was he keeps talking about moving the goalpost. It's not moving the goalpost. It's creating conflict. So no matter what you do right, she's going to find something wrong or critique it, because this way she is creating the chaos.
Yeah.
So there's nothing you
literally
can.
had a conversation.
Yeah.
She literally had a conversation yesterday where she inserted literally all the conversation was stuff that she said, and I said nothing. I was like, what the? I never said that. She's like, well, I'm like, yo, okay.
Yeah, you gotta. I mean, here's the problem. I mean, your situation, you need to get out of it in terms of it being exclusivity and just like I'm out. I want to date other people.
God, no.
I want to date. It's still a situation, right? It's a situationship.
Nah, I can't. Like yesterday was just kind of like the final straw, because I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I'm like, all right, Dante always says, when you sacrifice your goddamn manhood for.
Oh, you don't get it back. You don't get no points for it, and you don't get it back.
Can you?
Know what I'm saying? And it doesn't matter how many times I pivot, try to adjust my, personality to just be cool and stuff like that. And then yesterday I was just sitting there looking like she just was saying, God knows what.
Yeah.
And I'm just looking like.
You're not even paying attention at that point. You're just,
like,
how do I get out of this?
Like, yo, I couldn't believe it too, and I was just like, all right, I can't. And it just sucks because it's like, if she was like a completely different person, it'd be great.
Right, yeah.
Right,
but she's not.
If she was a bad bitch with a different personality, a different mentality, and a different history, she would be dope. But she's not, and you gotta cut. I mean, now the problem is that when you cut loose, she's gonna come back harder. And even if you're gonna smash, you gotta maintain your integrity and say, look, I don't really dig you like that, but if you want to smash, we can smash.
And then you have to get right out immediately after.
It's like that kind of. I feel like that's some rest in pen, Patrice O'Neal types. Like, yo, no, you gotta get the fuck about. Like,
yeah, I get it. I mean, cool. But I'm saying,
you don't have to say it like that. Here's what you can say: look, I don't see us having a long-term relationship.
No,
if you want to come over,
yeah, right.
If you want to come over, have sex and then leave, I'd be down to do that. But anything else, I'm not interested in. So you don't have to be mean. You don't have to vote.
Yeah, because
listen, you stupid whore.
Let me ask you something.
Emoji.
Wouldn't you like to have her come over and smash and leave?
Nah.
Oh no, you wouldn't even want to do that.
Only reason why is because it's not gonna. She's basically talked me to death so much where it's just like
she's not even pretty no more.
I'm at that point where I can't
you're not even attracted to her now.
Yeah, that's the thing, and it's like it sucks because I remember looking at her like, how does this makes no sense? How are you this damn fine and your personality?
You know what that's like?
How is that even possible?
You know what that's like in New York City when you see an empty subway car? You go, oh man, there's a seat over there. And then you go sit down and there's a homeless guy shit all over the thing. You go, oh, now I know why no one sat here. Okay, it makes all the sense in the world now.
You gotta get out of that because it's gonna.
Yeah, I had. I just like I said, my question really was like, why is it that it seems like, and that's not really my type of personality. Like, obviously, I'm sure people have made so many references to energy like Harry and all this other stuff. Mm-hmm. And I've definitely learned a combination of both of you in terms of you and him in terms of how to maneuver with these women. And, of course, this whole thing saved my life and stuff like that in terms of, and I'm sure you've heard that several times before.
Well, sure, man. You'd be stuck in a relationship with this lunatic because she's hot.
I mean, and you see it faster and faster. And I'm just like, okay, like, and basically, when I get fed up is when this is gonna have to end because it's like I can't even get. It's just so much energy and it sucks because I was just a black woman and all that. I'm black, so it's
but the other thing is this though. The real I had to learn this as I got older is to take the signs and get rid of it because time is the commodity. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And you're wasting time. And I'm going to tell you something. Everybody has a thing where, they'll look at Harry as different than me. So it's funny because Harry just, Harry was working at a job and the dude was trying to play him, and he checked him right out the gate.
Right out the gate.
And Harry was like, oh, this is what it's like to, because Harry will always give that leeway, right?
I'll give some leeway. Yeah.
But I don't. You got to understand there's a reason why I don't give any wiggle room in it.
No,
because
your instincts
math
are usually right.
The math is still the math. You feel me?
Yeah, and it doesn't buy you anything.
No.
No.
So in fact, it does not only it doesn't buy you, but it costs you.
It costs you. You lose your respect.
You lose time. You
Yeah.
lose energy. You waste it on somebody who doesn't deserve it. You also cut down your opportunity to meet somebody who is worthy. It's just not okay. Like I say, when I was in my 40s, I was like, I'm no longer gonna have people in my life that take away from my life. If they're not neutral or positive to my life, I'm not gonna have them in my life, right? And then when I hit my 50s, I was like, I don't even want the neutral motherfuckers, because the neutral people eat your time.
Yeah.
And your time is really the important thing. So if you're fucking with somebody that doesn't help you grow in some way, get rid of them. Even if they're why? Like, why would you hang out? With somebody who is not going to move the needle for you.
It's crazy. It's crazy because, like, I just remember, like, all those, and it was funny because I didn't even get the opportunity to, like, make up some excuse, like, maybe some of the rest of us have done through the years that we've been listening to you and now calling in. I couldn't even come up with no excuse. I couldn't be like, well, maybe she, and I was like,
no,
so
you know.
Yeah, you know what it is. And the thing is,
and I want to be anywhere. I want to fucking vaporize like fucking a fort in the wind. You want to transport out of here. This shit is crazy. And I was just like, yo, it just goes back to practicing integrity, not only with yourself, like anyway. So
and honestly, the other thing is you got to be honest with yourself, because it's funny because anytime, Harry would get a situation, he would always give quarter. And
every day is
and
less
I kept
and
telling
less.
him it does not help you to give that wiggle room.
Let's cut right to it. Let's go right to it.
Go right to it.
And it was funny. And it's funny. I was going to say right off the part. I got divorced a couple years back, and it got finalized and all that type of stuff. And people, they've asked me little things here and there, how things went, all this other stuff. I remember telling a friend of mine, he was like, well, damn, Cream, you did this, you did that. I said, yeah, bought her a house, paid off her car, took care of her, took her, I always laugh about the Patrice joke about how, like, oh, who's that bitch, shit on this in the corner over there. I'm taking care of your whole daughter. And, like, that's how, literally, that's how the situation.
The shoes, the boots, some ex.
I did all those things. I said, I did all those things, bought this. She was homeless, took her in my home, bought her all that stuff.
You can't be homeless.
I said, at the end of that, she still left my ass.
You can't be homeless, have herpes,
right, and be unpleasant.
It did nothing. She didn't hesitate to walk up. Now, granted, she tried to come back, but that's not the point.
Yeah.
She still felt empowered to do that because I had lost all my respect.
Yeah, and I'll tell you the interesting thing about even that, it's like it doesn't help you. That energy could have been put on you, or it could have been on somebody who would have appreciated it, and waiting. And I'd say this to Harry all the time, stop. And he would be like, well, I just want to make sure. I go, you're not. None of that is true, because it all comes from the fear of it's fear that you don't want to check them off. You could say it's, I just want to make sure. I just want to. Well, when you don't have the fear about how it's going to turn out, it changes your whole perspective. And you first of all, fear is emotion, right? So if I say never allow emotion to have a seat at the table, you are, by the nature of your fear, you are allowing it to have a seat at the table. So you gotta check it right away. This is 2 months too late. I know this chick was a problem the first week, but but here's the thing. If you really sometimes you give people space to change, right? But the only way you give them space to change is by checking them in right away. If you got a puppy, you don't wait 5 weeks to start paper training them or housebreaking them. You start housebreaking them right away.
Right. And it's the same thing you say, just about like, once it happens, like once I tell somebody, hey, I'm not going to tolerate, once I told her I'm not going to tolerate, I already tolerated. It's already been tolerated. And now I'm just And I'm stepping back and stepping back and stepping back, and each time it was the situation
She takes
was
more.
worse than the last.
Yeah, she takes a
Each
little bit
time,
more.
and it's just
Yeah.
like I can't fuck with you like that.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
and I
a
was just like, I thought it was like, that's why my question was more or less like, yo, son,
Why
am I
does it
about to
happen?
is this about to be another thing I got in the repertoire, like just screaming on chicks? I don't.
Well,
wanna
you
see
shouldn't
that
also be
nobody.
screaming. I don't.
yeah.
Is
You
the other
shouldn't. You
thing.
lose them. The problem is though,
Because then it
when you-
becomes that you're yelling.
the first time she's disrespectful, you go, hey, don't talk to me like that. Oh, I was just joking. Why you being so emo? Look, listen. Did you hear what I said?
Facts.
Did you hear what I said? Do not talk to me like that. Don't call me names. Don't call me out my name. I respect you, and you respect me. And if we're not going to do that, we can stop this. We can stop the date right now. I put the brakes on then. What that does is establish to somebody that you're not willing to put that. You're not even willing to do that. So right away, if the person can't fit into those boundaries, they're gonna bounce.
Yeah.
It's a great time for them to fly off the handle and do the fuck shit they normally do, so that they could be out. Or it gives them a real good time to go, oh wow, this guy is not to be played with, and because he's not to be played with, I'm not fucking around with him.
And that becomes more attractive because they respect you. But, you got to make sure it doesn't eat up your time.
Yeah, exactly. And it's funny to
Yo,
think about
thanks,
that.
hey Lloyd
that
Hinton,
they-
thank you so much for the cash up, $15. Thank you, brother. Send me some money, goddammit.
Yeah, I was thinking about the old, not the interview, but the whole the old intro and stuff to the Beige Phillip when he was like, "Do you just get to love him?"
Yeah.
No, it's always work.
But yeah, thank you.
It's
Thank you,
always work.
appreciate it. Yeah, it was
Man, I appreciate you calling in, bro. But yeah, you 40 something now. It's time for you to you should be able to vet this in a couple of weeks. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
To his credit,
yeah,
he's
and it
doing
was-
it.
it
He's
was
getting. It's
so
time to
crazy.
No,
get short
because
and
he's saying already it's a problem.
But yeah, it's
Oh,
done.
And what he was saying before, is she's a bad motherfucker. So that those
Yeah,
two
yeah.
things say he knew it was done, and he was just hoping.
Yeah, he still went.
Hoping for the back. I get it, man. But it is like
Well, I think sometimes that's like when you know you're quitting. You go, but I just need these 2 more weeks, and then I'm out. Then this paycheck. I just need these two. I just need to get that paycheck for this last 2 weeks, and then I'm out.
Yeah, it ain't a paycheck though.
I get it. You're losing something, but I'm
Yeah.
just saying that's the mentality that
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah,
Kareem
it
had,
comes
but-
from fear. But Doug, I appreciate you calling in, man. Thanks for listening,
no
yo.
problem, no problem. And you got the thing on the screen so I can.
Yeah, the
see
cash app is up.
thing?
The cash app and the numbers up right now. All right.
Is it in the corner or is
It's
it
on.
too?
You on
Oh,
YouTube?
there. Okay, I see it.
Yeah, right there.
Okay.
Don put it up
Okay,
right
all
on
right.
time.
All right, brother. Appreciate you. Yeah, man. It's it's funny because when you called me with that the other day, like
The boss story. Do we have time
Yeah,
to tell
yeah,
that?
you can tell it.
Okay,
So
so
we get a call.
I was in a situation where I got hired to do this job, and it was a salaried position, and they started dropping a lot of assignments on me, like where I'm working more than 8 hours. I'm working like 10 hours a day.
Yeah.
Which means every time I'm doing more work, I'm making less money because I'm not getting any. It's not
And
by
a
the
job,
hour.
a 24-hour job like what you had.
Well, it wasn't supposed to be a
right,
24-hour
but I'm saying
job.
a 24-hour job like you would be $250,000.
Right. But they were trying to have their cake and eat it too, which is not a 24 hours, but we're giving you, and they're supposed to give me notice. So it ended up being a lot of work, and I was fine to do the work. But then there was a situation where day of, they're dropping something on me. I had a show to do. And I said, hey, I can't stay. I have a show to do. The next day, there's a meeting, and it's like, listen, I sent an email beforehand. I said, listen, I have a career that I'm doing outside of this. If you need me to step aside, I get it. If we can't work something out, I will step aside. The day.
Oh, you said that before.
Oh yeah, I sent it
when you got hired. Or
No. After all this went down, because when they hired me, they're like, sometimes there's some nights, sometimes there's some weekends, but we give you some notice. It's nothing crazy.
Yeah.
It's
And it
like,
wasn't that.
This was a toxic relationship. They were sweet up front. This particular person was sweet up front,
and then flipped,
and then became more like abusive with little things, like just like do this, pick up that thing, and then before you know it, like I'm just.
And you gotta go. That's not my job.
That's not my job.
Yeah.
Right. But so anyway, there becomes a whole process. Like, hey, when we hired you, you should have told us this. I go, yeah, but you should have told me that, you told me that there would be notice. There's no notice. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so we try to work it out. Like, but I realized right after that, I know enough to know. Like, okay, this motherfucker is.
Yeah.
Now
He's taking advantage, and it's still not enough.
and it's still not enough. I'm offering you. I
You've
said whatever
accepted
other
the
hours.
herpes,
Right.
and you.
And they're still upset, which
she's
is going to
still
happen
bitching
to
at you.
So I'm there's 168 hours in a week. I'm willing to offer them 150. That's not enough,
Mm-hmm.
right? So the next thing that happens, I could see the tone of the interview. It's like dealing with a chick that's angry because now
Yeah.
other stuff comes up because he goes,
And-
and also, I don't got time for all this. And also the soap dispenser doesn't work. Like,
Yeah.
you're not paying attention to stuff. Like, oh, now we're talking about the bullshit little
Yeah.
things. I know what this is going to be. This guy is now he's going to break my balls, right?
Right.
So I'm figuring out my exit strategy again because I need the money, right? I was
Mhm.
like, okay. So then I'm supposed to pick up his kids, but I have to pick him up from the airport. It's a little bit like the window's too close. The wife goes, don't even worry about it. By the way, she's nice.
Yes,
She goes, don't even worry about it. I'll take care of the kids. He texts me going, why didn't you pick up the kids? I go, it was too short of a window. I didn't want you to be late. He goes, real disappointed, man. Right? So now in my head, I'm like, okay, I'm done with this job. Now I'll finish out this week. I'll just let him know I'm going to finish out this week. Then he gets in the car when I pick him up and he starts giving me like, yeah, real disappointed, man. One more and you're out. I go, oh, one more and I'm out. No, we don't have to wait for that. I can just go back to the office and let Janice know that I'll wrap up. He goes, yeah, well, because I'm a straight shooter. I feel like you're lazy and you like to sleep in, right? And I'm like, no, you don't understand. I just quit.
Right.
Like, there's no need to keep this doing. And then he became quiet because he's a tough guy. But when
But he's a pussy.
when he has no control, I turn the music down to make it awkward in the car.
Mm-hmm.
He starts taking phone calls and making phone calls that he clearly doesn't have to make because he hates the awkwardness of
Yeah.
the silence. Just
And
like
he wanted to explain to you why he
Why I
was like,
wasn't
hey,
shit.
you got one more shot, and
Like-
you were supposed to go, oh,
I'm sorry. I'll do better. I promise.
And you were like, oh, nah,
No.
we end it now.
could
And
end it
then he
now.
was like, well, because I think,
He's
no,
like,
no,
I don't care what you think. It doesn't matter.
we're done.
I just told you I'm out. And the whole power dynamic got lost on him, and he's a coward.
Yeah.
He started making phone calls,
Yeah.
talking about
It's a
kids' soccer
beautiful
game,
feeling, bro.
and then I was just like giddy on the drive home. I've never been so happy in a silent car.
Yeah.
He's just yapping away. I get to the office, I'm giving people like high fives. I'm so happy, just like as happy as I've been, because
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah,
I
yeah.
know I'm out.
Yeah, right.
I just grab a bag, grab all my shit, because I know what's coming, that he's
Yeah.
not going to. And sure enough, I go, I can stay as long as you guys need to find somebody else. They go, no, he wants you.
Yeah.
He'd prefer you go today.
Because
I'm
I
like,
can't control you.
yeah, he
crazy.
can't bend my will, right?
Crazy.
And so that's something I wouldn't have done years ago.
Yeah.
But I've learned to shorten the distance and the gap of like, oh, I see where this is
You
going.
gotta
Let's
get
stop
it
it
away.
right now.
And you used to look at me like I was crazy because
You'd go off on people.
They would
yeah.
they would blink wrong, and I'd be like, "Oh, I seen this. All right, we good, we good."
Right.
And it's nuts. Anyways, 10:00, man. Thank y'all, man. We'll be back. We'll be doing the Tuesdays again. I'm back on the grind, so I'll see y'all Thursday. Harry, talk.
You could follow all my stuff on social media at Harry Turjanian on YouTube, Instagram, all that. And I had my first wrestling match at Titan Championship Wrestling. That's going to be up soon.
Oh, cool.
And I'll show you all that. At Harry Turjanian is all my info. And I also do consultations, adviceFromHarry@gmail.com if you want to consult with me about any questions about fixing your life and stuff. Oh, and the Patreon, patreon.com/manschool202. That's where we do all the extra bonus content. We post up classic old editions of the show as well, and we give out listener advice. And you can ask us questions directly that we'll answer on the Patreon.
You're controlling the actual Patreon, how the show's going down. So what the questions you ask, that's what we're doing the show on. Full disclosure on any particular topic. Also, y'all can follow me at I'm starting to put more content up on my Dante Nero, also the Man School 202 YouTube channel. Follow me on Instagram also. Don't forget consultations at DanteNero.com. Click on consult.
Oh, if you're watching this on the Godfrey channel, just also make sure you subscribe to Man School 202 on YouTube. Subscribe, hit the little notification. This way, when you know Dante's doing other stuff, because he does live consultations on Sundays and Thursdays as well.
So y'all can tune in. And hit the bell so you get notice. GYBB, get your balls back. WWDD, What Would Dante Do? The Sexual Revolution is being podcasted. Love y'all, man. We out of here.
Man School 202. Better hear what I've got to say because you won't get it again.
I'm not an alpha male. I'm not a beta
Put your happiness first, because if you don't, they won't.